Peter Bickley? Not here. Sorry, Peter Bickley? Yes. Yeah, come forward, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. As you say, my name is Peter Bickley and I reside at 164 Old West Coast Road. But, as a rural ratepayer, I wish to strongly object to the removal of the differential for properties under 5 hectares proposed in the rural rating policy in the long-term plan 2015 to 2025. Others will have presented on the historical reasons why the differential was introduced in the first place. I want to comment mainly on the unfairness of the proposal. Previously, there has been recognition of small 2 to 4 hectare blocks which can be productive regardless of residences on them and whether or not they provide full-time work. There can be no difference between a 2 hectare block and a 5 hectare block when there is a rural activity occurring on both. By the same token, both can be economically viable or not viable. For example, our 3 hectare block is situated between 2 6 hectare blocks. All 3 derive an income by grazing sheep. All 3 would be deemed to be economically unviable. All 3 provide for and maintain their own sewage and water at some considerable cost. All 3 do not have street lighting, footpaths or access to buses. Where is the justification for penalising those blocks under 4 hectares? Similarly, there is no solid basis for picking a 66% land value to capital value ratio to determine rural activity. Now, I know a 4 hectare block not far from us where the capital value is actually under the 66%. So, in the Christchurch Replacement District Plan, Stage 2, Chapter 17, Policy 5, it states A, ensure a density and distribution of rural dwellings that will 6. Enable use of existing sites less than 4 hectares for rural dwellings in the rural urban fringe zone, where it will not result in large lot rural residential development. And 7. Avoid the expectation of land use change of rural land to urban activities or for large lot rural residential development. So no hope for subdivision then in the future. In conclusion, I would ask that the proposed criteria to the rural differential rating policy contained in the long-term plan 2015 to 2025 be removed and that the differential status on the rural rating criteria in the rating policy as applied in 2014-2015 be retained. Thank you.
Thank you. The original difference wasn't... I just wonder whether you've got it the right way around. The purpose of the reduction in the rate was so as to advantage somebody who was farming or had a forest on their land, and it wasn't a residential lifestyle block. So if we retain the existing definition, but it was focused entirely on whether it was primarily used for farming or forestry, would your property qualify for the discount?
No, it probably wouldn't. No.
So you don't primarily use your property for farming or forestry?
Well, it is. I mean, as I say, we graze a few sheep, but so does a 5 hectare block. And I can't really see the difference. It's that arbitrary figure of 5 hectares that I object to, really. So I'm doing the same thing on my block as a 5 hectare place is doing on their block, and yet they're exempt. So,
but the purpose of it was really to provide an advantage for people who are farming smaller blocks, because otherwise the difference is actually that you've got a lifestyle block that's not paying rates on the same basis as everyone else in the city.
Yes, but you're talking about residential?
Yeah, but it really is a residential lifestyle block if it's not being used for farming. That was the purpose of the reduction, was to allow people who are farming not to get caught up in a residential rating situation.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I still think that, so what's the difference between a 5 hectare and a 3 hectare? If they're doing exactly the same thing, They're not using it for forestry or an economical activity, but they're doing exactly the same as us. So
We've had a number of people come and give examples of being under the 5 hectares but actually farming the block.
well, I suppose you could say that we are actually doing that as well. Yes.
Yeah, but the purpose of it wasn't to allow for the difference. I just wonder whether the purpose is well understood. It was always intended to give people farming their land a discount, not the other way round.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
But look, thank you very much. I mean, we have received a number of submissions on this subject, and we are, definitely committed to looking at it as part of the final review of the LTP. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
The next